Assalamualaikum and good evening. You're now with me, Yusuf Shukri, for TVS Nightline. We begin with this story. Sarawak's airline, AIRBORNEO, is looking to expand beyond local borders just weeks after its January 1st launch. Sarawak Transport Minister Datuk Seri Lee Kim Shin announced that Phase 2 of the carrier's operations is now underway, aiming to connect Sarawak to regional destinations by the second half of this year. Lee Kim Shin says the focus has now shifted to securing the necessary licenses and jet aircraft required for international regional flights.
Kerja ini kita sedang membuat kajian dan kita perlu juga membuat permohonan kerana perkhidmatan untuk rantau ataupun wilayah ini regional. Kita perlu memohon lesen air operating license kita tambah dan kita perlu memerlukan segala peraturan yang mengikut keperluan Civil Aviation Authority Malaysia. Inilah kita sedang sekarang meneliti bagaimana kita akan melaksanakan fasa kedua ini. Mudah-mudahan akhir pertengah the second half, later part second half tahun ini kita boleh melaksanakan perkhidmatan pesawat jet kita.
Speaking to reporters during his open house event in Permajaya today, Kim Shin said the state's transport infrastructure overhaul underway with the Autonomous Rapid Transit or ART project. He confirmed the system remains on schedule for operational trials by the end of this year. The Miri City Smart Bus program is also celebrating over a year of free service with high ridership numbers. Kim Shin is urging more residents to swap their cars for public transit to cut down on city congestion and carbon emissions. Infrastructure upgrades in the Palawan State constituency are moving ahead smoothly, with the Key Road widening project entering its final stretch. Sarawak Deputy Minister of Public Health, Housing and Local Government, Datuk Michael Tiang Ming Tee, says works to turn Ulu Sungai Merah Road into a dual carriageway are on schedule and set to wrap up by May of this year.
This Jalan Ulu Sungai Merah Road expansion program will be completed by May. Now it's February. Another 3 more months, we were going to have a complete Jalan Ulu Sungai Merah dual carriage. And for Ling Kai Cheng, yes, we have done the upgrade, but I have other extra program to further improve Jalan Ling Kai Cheng for to ease the traffic flow. Also to look into the safety for the student, especially for SMK Padang Sibu. Tiang adds the traffic management upgrades are also in works for Sungai Merah with a key focus on Jalan Teng Chin Hua. The move follows feedback from nearby institutions including St. Teresa's Church, BEM Hosanna Church and SJK Tiong Hin. According to him, the junction will be reconfigured and the access to Jalan Teng Chin Hua reviewed to ease congestion and improve traffic flow. He says the improvements should be visible within months, describing the project as straightforward and quick to complete.
The grim search for a missing fisherman ends in tragedy as search teams recovered his remains from the Batang Sadong River. 29-year-old Muhammad Faizal Abdillah was snatched by a crocodile yesterday, triggering a massive 24-hour search and rescue operation.
Local fishermen spotted the body at 2:22 p.m. floating 3 kilometers from the command post. Investigators confirmed the remains are largely intact, so evidence of the predator's brutality is clear. Faizal was dragged to his death at 11 a.m. yesterday while netting shrimp with a friend. Witnesses describe a horrifying scene where the victim was standing waist deep in the receding tide when the reptile struck and pulled him beneath the surface. Police have now taken over the investigation as the search operation officially concludes. The remains were brought to the Sarawak General Hospital for post-mortem.
Welcome back. Health Minister Zulkifli Ahmad rejects the misconception of migrants are the primary drivers of tuberculosis in Malaysia. The latest Health Ministry data reveals that a staggering 85% of reported TB cases involve local citizens, while foreigners account for only 15%.
The minister warns that the disease remains endemic and should not be trivialized as an imported risk. He points to socio-economic factors, including crowded living conditions and malnutrition, as the real catalyst for community transmission. While describing the bacteria as stubborn, Zulkifli stresses that the infection is fully curable if detected early and treated with a strict 6-month antibiotic regimen. Officials are urging the public to watch for symptoms such as a cough lasting more than 2 weeks, night sweats, or unexplained weight loss. Parents are encouraged to ensure children receive the BCG vaccine, while the public is reminded to support rather than to shun patients to ensure they complete their recovery. So far this year, more than 2,500 cases have been recorded nationwide. Sabah remains the hardest hit region with 614 cases, followed by Selangor with 476, Sarawak with 257, Johor with 233, as well as Kuala Lumpur and Putrajaya with 202.
Now, Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim is calling on Muslims to look beyond tradition as they prepare to observe the holy month of Ramadan starting tomorrow. In a message shared on social media today, the Prime Minister stressed that fasting is not just a religious obligation, it is a path to deeper spiritual understanding. Anwar says the motivation for worship during this period should be driven by the spirit of mujahadah, the disciplined struggle against sin and self-indulgence. He emphasizes that these acts should not be performed solely for rewards in the hereafter, but as a tool for personal growth and sincerity in daily life. The Prime Minister further says that Ramadan serves to strengthen self-discipline and cultivate a stronger commitment to carrying out professional duties. He expressed gratitude for the arrival of the holy month, which remains a highly anticipated time for reflection nationwide. Muslims nationwide will officially begin their fasts on Thursday, February 19th. Meanwhile, several countries in the Middle East have begun to observe their fast to welcome the Islamic holy month of Ramadan. Muslims in Saudi Arabia, Oman, Qatar, Dubai and Palestine began fasting today, while Iran will observe theirs on Thursday, similar to Malaysia. Despite advances in astronomy and the ability to determine the start of Islamic months many years in advance, religious authorities in the Middle East continue to rely on direct visual sighting as the official method for confirming the presence of the crescent moon. This practice has been followed since the time of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, who linked the beginning of fasting to the sighting of the crescent. Observing the Ramadan fast is one of the 5 pillars of Islam, requiring believers to abstain from eating, drinking, smoking, and sex during daylight hours. Meanwhile, in Gaza, though stricken by conflict and grief, many were seen performing their obligatory prayers in the early hours on Wednesday. They performed their Fajr prayers at the Great Omari Masjid in Gaza City. As the sun rises, journalists went to higher ground to get to a clear viewpoint of what's left in the city that was ravaged by audacious attack by the Zionist regime. Despite that, some found solace and peace in the ruins and beach. Palestinian artist Yazid Abu Jarat sculpted the words "Welcome Ramadan" with sand at the beach in Deir al-Balah in central Gaza Strip, while sending a message that Palestinians are here to stay.
العالم كله ما زلنا احنا بخير وان شاء الله بتكون رمضان هذا فيش فيه حرب وفيش فيه قصف. صار لنا 3 سنين في الحرب، فيش رمضان اجى علينا الا في حرب. إن شاء الله نرجو من الله ونأمل من الله أنه ما يكونش في حرب.
Meanwhile, the European Union, EU, called on Israel to reverse its approval of a process to register land in the West Bank, warning it was a new escalation. EU's Foreign Affairs spokesman Anwar El Anouni says the decision violates various tangents of the international law.
Quant à notre position, elle a toujours été très claire et consistante, dans le sens où nous avons depuis longtemps la position de ne pas reconnaître la souveraineté d'Israël sur les territoires occupés par Israël, et ce depuis juin 1967, conformément aux résolutions du Conseil de sécurité des Nations Unies. Et nous rappelons que l'annexion est illégale au regard du droit international, et nous appelons Israël à revenir sur cette décision. Et finalement, je rappelle.
Wrapping up the Nightline, Japan's lower house today formally reappointed Sanae Takaichi as Prime Minister 10 days after her historic landslide election victory. She has pledged to bolster Japan's defenses to protect its territory and waters, likely further straining relations with Beijing and to boost the flagging economy.
64-year-old Takaichi became Japan's first woman premier in October and won a two-thirds majority for her party in the snap lower house elections on February 8. In a policy speech expected for Friday, Takaichi will pledge to update Japan's free and open Indo-Pacific strategic framework. In practice, this will likely mean strengthening supply chains and promoting free trade through the Trans-Pacific Partnership that Britain joined in 2024. Takaichi's government also plans to pass legislation to establish a national intelligence agency and to begin concrete discussions towards an anti-espionage law. Takaichi has promised to tighten rules surrounding immigration, even though Asia's number 2 economy is struggling with labor shortages and a falling population. On Friday, Takaichi will repeat her campaign pledge to suspend consumption tax on food for 2 years in order to ease inflationary pressures on households. She will also announce the creation of a cross-party national council to discuss taxation and how to fund aging Japan's ballooning social security bill. But Takaichi's first order of business will be obtaining approval for Japan's budget for the fiscal year beginning on April 1st, after the process was delayed by the election.
Get all the updates you need all in one app. TVS Inspire brings you live updates on events, news, and programs. Available now on the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. TVS Inspire, world on your screen, anytime, anywhere. And on behalf of TVS, I would like to wish our Muslim brothers and sisters Ramadan Mubarak, and may more blessings come our way. Assalamualaikum and good night.